Hello and welcome to the RetroMacCast with James and John, where in each episode we'll stroll down the Macintosh memory lane. We'll discuss older Macintosh computers, collecting all things related to the Mac and Apple computer, and current topics from the perspective that only a couple of old Mac fans can provide.
We are back. We've been gone for a good long time, and we're supposed to be back last week, but I don't even remember what happened. I think one of us, probably me, decided I wasn't up for it or whatever, so we postponed another week.
The fact that it's 80 plus degrees in your space right now.
It is 88.5 up here because it's now my turn to have the air conditioning go out. But it's not just in the Mac office here, as I call it, but it's the entire house. Fortunately, the Mac office is in the upstairs, so it's most warm here.
Yeah.
So anyway, we'll sweat through this. Oh, and we are a trio this morning because joining us after I think it's been a little over a year. I think it was February, March of last year that Mark from Mac Effects joined us. And he is back again with an exciting new project.
Hey there, Mark.
Hi there.
A long string. I went back and looked at our history. I think it was 2019 when you first joined us to talk about one of your projects. And pretty much every year since, there's been something new.
Mark stays busy.
Thanks for joining us. And thanks everybody in the chat for coming on board. And let's record the actual intro to the show. Let's go in let's see, get all this together. 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the RetroMacCast with James and John. This is episode 662 for October 2nd, 2023. Good morning. After 600 plus episodes,
too many years.
Good evening, John.
Good evening. Good evening.
And good evening, Mark from Mac Effects. Were you traveling far? I know this was it was hit or miss whether or not you'd be with us, but thanks for taking the effort.
Yeah, it wasn't too far, just a few hour drive, but
okay.
Yeah.
Was it Mac Effects business or
so unfortunately it's non-Mac Effects business. It's the day job activities. So.
Right. The stuff
Gotta
that
pay
pays
the bills somehow.
Yeah. No, we all get that. We all get that for sure. Well, Mark's here to join. He's going to talk about the latest Kickstarter, so we'll get to that in a little bit. Before that, we will. I guess we'll get to some eBay finds, right? Anything else, John?
Sounds good. Let's do it.
Okay, we'll be back just after this. Do you hear a car horn? Was that on my side? I heard a car horn.
Didn't hear one over here.
Okay, must have been me.
All right.
Hopefully somebody's not stealing my car. Okay, let's go with the eBay finds. Let's do it in 3, 2, 1. It's time for eBay finds. Last episode we had an Apple One, which surprise has not sold. It's got to buy it now. $1.5 million. Or
Mark, you gonna do a clear case for Apple Ones anytime soon?
Well, the ironic part is that people have actually modified the 2E case to receive it, mainly because people want to have so you can see what's inside of it. So,
nice. Okay.
No Apple One case is yet.
Oh, that would be neat. Yeah.
That would be.
Not you mean somebody took one of your cases and put an original Apple One in it?
Well, there's one that is a real Apple One, and there are 3 that are replicas that people have made. Very good replicas, but replicas nonetheless. Yeah.
Nice.
Right. Okay. Awesome. All right. Well, did not sell. Okay. And next we had. Oh, we lost my graphics here. This is the Mac video processor. Really.
Oh yeah.
Slick. It kind of just attaches via Velcro, I think. to the back
Did
of your
Steve
Mac.
buy that? Somebody we know bought that, right? Mac 84.
I don't know if he was interested or not. It did sell after 17 bids for $188.50. Did he not? Yeah, maybe he
Man.
did put a bid on it while we were doing the show.
All I say is I hope it's somebody who has a YouTube channel so he can see what comes of it. I'm very curious.
Yeah, if they can even get it working, right? Because they certainly have to figure out the power situation because it's got a unique connector. It doesn't have the power supply with it. But yeah, we had never seen anything like this. It allows you to do external video on a classic Mac. Have you ever seen anything like this, Mark?
No, and I'm trying to figure
Figure it out. there's
signal.
There's the kind of the whole thing strung together.
Huh.
Yeah, no, let you didn't it let you superimpose graphics? I forget what the
did it do that?
Oh, that's right. You have the ad right there.
Yeah, there's the
Converts
ad.
Mac video to standard TV video. Lets you use any TV or big screen projection unit as a Macintosh screen or record on a VCR. Maybe that's what I was thinking of. Yeah,
you could
can
do
pan,
freeze frame, and zoom using your mouse, so you could manipulate a little bit. Anyway, real slick piece of hardware. Hopefully somebody got it and they can do something with it in a YouTube kind of way. Okay, and then there was also the stained glass Apple logo, which
did you find yours?
A little bit. Did I find it?
Yeah, weren't you looking?
No, I was going to look for it.
Pretty similar.
I forgot to do that.
All right.
Yeah, I do have something similar, so I'll have to keep looking for that. That one, they wanted $2,500. It too did not sell, but you can make an offer on that one. Okay, this week, all this kind of crazy Mac accessories or Mac hardware that I was not aware of. You know, when the Macs first came out, you know, they were touted fanless, right? I mean, that was the whole thing. Steve did not want the fan. He didn't want the noise, but they did run kind of warm. And so there were a variety of products that allowed you to connect a fan.
Yeah, and I have to say this is the ugliest one of these I have seen.
This one's called the Mac Be Cool?
Mac Be Cool, yeah.
For the 128/512 and plus. And let's see, let's go to a picture that kind of shows it. It looks like a very bad hat. Let's see here. Let's try to look at this design drawing there. It says a cooling enhancement module designed to keep your Macintosh cool and eliminate the threat of overheating. So use forced air. Hopefully you get greater reliability, longer computer life. The Mac Be Cool is especially recommended when your computer is in confined areas or used continuously for extended periods.
So what I initially thought were intake ports on this thing are actually there's two switches on the front. There's one for main power and one for peripheral power, so you don't have to reach around the back of the Mac. But
yeah, it has control center operation on the front. It does have surge protection, which is great. And is that like a handle?
So the other one, one of the other fan ones that I remember seeing, and one I've got is it basically sits in that handle. I have to say it's a lot nicer looking, but it does block the handle. So I guess the other advantage to this one is it cools and it still lets you access the handle. But
well, it actually
what cost?
It locks onto the handle, so it uses the handle.
Okay.
But then it has its
own handle. Okay.
Yeah. It is sort of kind of ugly. Mac Be Cool does not look too cool. Take the heat off your Mac. Let's see what I didn't even read from the description. Does it say anything more? It just says excellent condition. It says maybe never used. The original box has been damaged in storage as shown. Yeah, so it has the original box. Gosh, it probably works, you know.
Yeah.
And $98 was the buy now. There's no make an offer. It ships from National City, California. Just one of those, you know, again, strange little peripherals that I never saw. And I'd seen many.
I think there's a reason. They probably didn't sell too many of.
Was it Kensington that made one that was very popular? I want to recall.
I'm trying to remember what the other one was. That, you know?
There's one, I think it was Kensington had a really nice kind of a sleek looking one. It took up the whole handle, but it provided basically the same features. Had two switches, right? And I think it was probably ended up being cheaper than Mr. Mac Be Cool here.
Well, I mean, Kensington did do really good. I mean, the one they did for the Apple II GS just fits right in. So they definitely had a better design philosophy at Kensington.
Yeah, I don't know what this cost originally. We don't have that information. Anyway, slick little hardware accessory. Okay, let's see what we got next.
Next, we have a vintage Apple M1350 Macintosh 2VX computer, sealed, rare original box. Now, when they say sealed, the box has been opened, but the computer is still in its original plastic, I guess sealed plastic. So that part has been sealed. Everything else has been kind of taken out for pictures, which is good. You know, you're not getting a box full of bricks, as opposed to, you know, sometimes you have to wonder with some of these truly sealed ones. This looks like it comes with everything that would have been in there. The remember the old CD booklet that had, like, you know, 15, 20 CDs in it back then. Yeah, so it's got that. It's got a music video adventure game called Total Distortion. I don't think I've ever heard of that. Comes, of course, with all the Apple Guide CD-ROM titles, Apple Resource Guide. So it's got all the bits and pieces. It's got the mouse that's still sealed. I don't see keyboard. I assume the keyboard's got to be in here somewhere. I'm just going through the photos to see. Surely it came with a keyboard if it came with a mouse.
Keyboard? Yeah, if it came with a keyboard and mouse, it must have come with a keyboard. You know, I wonder about the claims about sealed, right? Because look at this picture right here.
Right, yeah. I mean, did these things truly seal? Were they hermetically vacuum packed for freshness? I don't know.
Well, the label that would have, it's all torn up. Like the label, I think that would have formed the seal of the bag. But
right.
I mean, everything else seems to be really new, but who knows?
So that said, this already does have a bid for $999.99. This is coming out of West Sacramento, California. Shipping to us all the way from California would be $110. Wow. So yeah, already has one bid. This still has 6 days to go.
I was going to look at the story. It doesn't say anything about how it came into their possession. It's, you know,
everything is unused, all sealed, very rare, very nice set, and that's all it says.
You'd have liked a little bit of a story that says, "Oh, we bought this for, you know, this business, and then the business pulled it. We stuck it in a closet and uncovered it all these years later." $1,000 for a sealed VX?
Right?
I mean, that just doesn't. I know. I cannot believe that's what this is getting.
Yeah.
Maybe this is a shill bid, and then maybe it'll pop up a little later with for $800, and everybody will think it's a great deal because the last one went for $1,000. I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. But okay, well, we'll find out next week. All right, we'll close with this.
This is one of my favorites.
I like a good auction where they've kind of completed the set, right, with the matching peripherals. This is a vintage 1999 Apple Power Macintosh G3. That's your blue and white. 128 megs of RAM with DVD, hard drive, monitor,
CRT, matching CRT monitor. Which it looks like it's what is that, the 17-inch? I'm guessing.
Yes, that would be a 17-inch monitor. Now, and the hockey puck mouse.
Yeah.
Did the hockey puck mouse come?
Yes.
That was an iMac thing. Did they get these things out with the blue and white G3s like this?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, same, and the keyboard.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
I guess when I think hockey puck mice, I only think of it associated with
nope.
the G3.
Came with the G3. So yeah, I've got the matching LCD monitor, which is nice, but man, the Trinitron tubes that they had in those monitors were just so nice.
Very crisp. very nice.
Absolutely.
Displays. Yeah. Of course, it has the
So
it's the built-in monitor swivel stand. Doesn't
Mhm.
does it tilt on that? I can't remember.
yeah, and not
A little
only
bit.
that, but the keyboard will tuck under the legs very nicely. It'll just kind of it's
Yeah.
yeah. Again, Apple, very nicely designed. So buy it now, $499.99. You can imagine shipping on this is going to be a bit up there with that monitor. So right now we're talking this. Oh wow, another one from California. Let's see, Camarillo, California, $124.80.
Yeah, the seller recommends picking it up in person. The monitor alone weighs 55 pounds.
Mm-hmm. Well, at least with the polycarbonate plastics on this, you don't have to hopefully worry about things shattering.
Right.
Yeah. So far, that stuff hasn't gotten brittle on us. Let's hope it stays. Not brittle.
Picture show it in operation. So they want $499.99 or best offer. So you can make an offer on this.
I think that's pretty darn reasonable for this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think probably the rarest thing, speaking of the monitor, is that the flybacks on those, the flyback transformers are just absolutely notorious for going bad.
Oh, really?
I even looked into having some manufactured because they're just so common to fail, and you can't
Did
get
not know that.
replacement parts. Now, I think the larger display didn't have the same problem. But the 17-inch ones, very, very common.
Wow, that's good to know.
Okay.
Wow.
Well, maybe another reason why you want to pick this one up locally if they are if they can fail due to being jostled around. I don't know if it's just strictly an age thing, but certainly jostling around is not going to help anything.
It certainly can't help. Yeah.
All right. Well, take a look at that, and maybe if you're in the location of Camarillo, California, you can score this.
You know, the blue and white was only my second new Macintosh.
That was such a great. I didn't know about the shipping keyboard mouse because I didn't buy one new. I came onto one used. Is it behind me? Behind me. Yes.
Yeah, I upgraded. I had a 6200, and I went from a 6200 to the G3. It was quite the upgrade.
It was.
All right. Let's get into the main segment. You ready, Mark?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Let's go in 3, 2, 1. All right. Well, Mark isn't here for his health. He's here to share with us the new project, the injected molded case for Apple IIc in black or clear or clear. I don't know, get both, get one or the other. It's up to you. Kickstarter is live. There are 27 days to go. You're closing in on halfway to your goal.
Nice.
And how many days has it been live? Not a week, has it?
Maybe 2.5 days.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, that's pretty good progress. Pretty good progress. Yeah.
Heck yeah.
So tell us how this came about. I mean, you've been in the case game for a while. Was this the one that everybody was screaming for? What made you decide to go with this?
So originally, the couple things. One, I have a very good friend, Javier, who has a channel, Havmaster, and he's absolutely in love with 2C and kind of brought me in love with it as well. And then what I found and over the years is that a lot of the 2Cs have issues with their keyboard. So the last project that I did was a mechanical keyboard for the 2C, which would come in clear or the original color, right? So people could replace if they didn't want customization, and had a whole bunch of lights and functionality. And then, of course, the next logical thing was I said, okay, well, put a survey out, what people wanted to see next. And by far, this is the one that everybody kind of wanted to do. So that's what led me here and brought us about the Kickstarter.
Awesome.
So
Well,
I got to see one of these one of the prototypes at Kansas Fest. Javier, is always such a great guy to hang out with at Kansas Fest, and I have to say, if Apple had actually released the 2C in black back in the day, they would have probably gotten a third more sales, or because it is just gorgeous. Holy cow! I mean, just totally changes. I mean, it is a sexy beast of a computer.
Absolutely. I don't know that white color didn't do it any favors. I don't think.
Yeah. So how do you go about creating the case in terms of the model itself, the design? I mean, is it you just have to meticulously measure it? Did somebody already out there in the community have 3D models of this?
So in this particular case, it used to be that I would, manually, go in and make the measurements and, draw it up. But now there's a company in China that I work with that produces these cases and the tooling for me, and they have this incredibly expensive machine that both X-rays and takes 3D scans of it. And it has a higher degree of accuracy than anybody could do manually. So the last couple of projects I've kind of took I guess you could call it the lazy man's way out, but it turns out a better result, so I'm not going to complain.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that makes sense. It makes it easy for sure. And then we're scrolling through here the pictures so you can see the results of those scans. And I do see there that the top handle isn't included as the stretch goal is released. So is that the only stretch goal? Are there other stretch goals?
So there's some other ones for the little floppy handle and things like that. The reason why it wasn't included primarily is because we just really wanted to at least make sure that we can get, the primary goal met and, get the case itself. I mean, obviously niceties, I have no shortage of things that I would like to add to things, but realistically, we got to think of put the absolute lowest cost possible to reach that goal, and to give the best bang for the buck, so to speak. And of course, if the goal gets reached, then anybody who backed the project would also get the handle and the other parts too. So,
could you use if the stretch goal doesn't get reached, could you use the original handle in there? Will
for sure.
Exactly
for sure.
right? Okay. And
it just would look kind of ugly.
It would. You could hit it with some.
Well, but on the other hand, also,
I mean, make it clear.
The handle doesn't really get used unless you want to make it use it as the kickstand method. But it's not like the handle. It's not like you're going to be carrying this thing around. You're not. Was it Roy Scheider in 2010 trying to use it on the beach? Wasn't that the scene?
Did he use it on the beach?
I'm pretty sure
with the CRT everything in his lap, or did he have the LCD display?
Anymore. I'll have to look it up. I'll have to, it was something crazy like that.
So black and clear, and there's a different price, and I guess it surprises me that. Well, I guess. Can you explain what makes the cost difference?
Like this versus like the 2E or?
Oh no, the black versus clear.
I don't. I think the difference there was that it included the black keyboard.
Oh, okay. So it's bundled. That's the difference.
Yeah, and so we were originally had the keyboard put back with the last Kickstarter. Long story short, things got communications got messed up because I was doing another run of the 2E keyboards, and they misunderstood my instructions for production, and because I was going to do clear and the gray caps for the 2E keyboard, and they misunderstood and thought I wanted it for this batch of keyboards, so they kind of flip-flopped and it was, by the time things came about, it was too late, right? So I refunded everybody who would back the other one, because I'm not going to sit on money for people or whatever, but and so we just piggyback that onto this, because I cannot imagine anybody would want a black 2C case and not have the black keyboard,
right?
Sure, right.
Otherwise,
Right. I see. Okay. And then I'm looking at the timeline here. So, obviously these are all dependent on all kinds of things, including world events and pandemics and all such things that I'm sure you've been having to navigate. But you're predicting June is when you would ship. Oh, John's pulled up the picture.
No, I didn't mean to show it yet.
No, that's fine. All right. So June is the target. Okay. All right.
Yeah, and I think this time, so there were some delays with the keyboard. The good thing is, at least like with a case, it's kind of complex, the tooling and all that. But once you get the final thing, it's not dependent upon, I mean, the keyboard, you had the switches, the, stabilizers, the clips, the retainers, the metal frame, and, a myriad of things. Whereas this is much more, with cases, that process is a little more streamlined because it's less dependent on so many people and processes.
So I had a question on the backlit keyboard. Do you have like the one is the black keys and it shines through the letters on there, or is that only?
Well, so to do that would have been a double shot mold and probably excess of $100,000. So
got it. All right.
To get them all. So the downside of it is that it kind of backlit around them, but it gives us really cool halo effect. And
I'm sure
a function that you can do that. Kind of like a transitioning, like rainbow colors.
Nice. All right.
The apple colors, cool. Right? So it's a slick look. Although it would be nice. That might be, if we ever do a larger scale keyboard for more like Mac, like an ADB keyboard or something like that, maybe get more interest in it.
Nice.
Okay.
Oh yeah, one of the on my Apple IIe case, when I put a light in there, to just kind of like shine, show the interior better. The clear key keyboard actually kind of glows red from underneath it. It was a very unexpected surprise on that. So,
yeah, some people put because the switches and the caps are clear, you can put LED strips in between the metal frame and the PCB, so that way you can kind of get that backlit effect on that too. So
got it. Nice.
Well, let's run down the pricing for the different options. I guess I can do it or you can do it. Why don't you do it, Mark?
Okay.
How does it break down?
So we've got the clear case, which is kind of the base one. It's $295. And if you want the black case with the black mechanical keyboard that's backlit, that's $475. And if you just want like cases for some reason, just a pair of cases, that's $550. And for a 2-pack for both colors with a black keyboard is $295. And I think the next one's
wait. You said $695 2-pack?
$695. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. And if this the next one's my personal favorite, as is evidenced by my description. So I'll go ahead and read that for those listening. Do you really love the Apple IIc and need more than 2 cases? Does your significant other complain about your collection? Well, look no further. This is the package for you. The kitchen sink includes 6 cases and 3 black keyboards, and that one is for obviously serious Apple IIc fans, and that's $1,650.
So no takers on that one yet?
Well, there's one.
Oh,
there's one.
And his name is Javier.
Somewhere in the world is very upset right now.
Wow. So here's a question for you, since you know all things about the 2C case. What about the 2C Plus? Understanding that it has a different drive, so therefore the opening must be different on the side. But I haven't looked at them side by side. Are the cases very similar otherwise?
So there's a little bit of difference there in the back panel. Now, the good news is if we get this, gold matte, the way that the mold is set up currently, or would be set up, is that you can change out the mold core. Now, it's still a significant sum, but it may be like a third of the price of an entire mold because the cases are so similar. So it opens up the possibility that we could, if there are enough people for the 2C Plus, or if things were of sufficient interest, somebody wanted to make like, because I've seen people like the was it the Meister or whatever, the kind of it's like an Apple II on like a board and stuff like that. A lot of people are
one of those FPGA based ones. Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, if somebody had the skill set, right, and in that case, this is not my area of expertise, but if somebody built something like that, this would be the perfect housing for it because it's so small, and you could probably fit all kinds of cool stuff in there. So, and you could even in a case like that, we could modify the mold to put like big mess of wires, his emulator right there on the top.
Oh yeah,
like that. So you can you can customize it once you get the main thing done. So
yeah, there probably isn't much of a market for a 2C plus. I don't know what the numbers are. I wonder if anybody have a guess of what the percentage of.
I know there are a lot computers. Yeah, they're a lot harder to come by, the 2C plus versus the 2C.
Just based on that, I can imagine it was a very small run compared to the standard 2Cs. All right. Well, you can go to Kickstarter.com. Just search on Mac Effects or Apple or something, and you'll come up with it. You've got 27 days to jump in on this. So head on over there. And thanks, Mark, for joining us, and good luck on the campaign.
Yeah, thanks.
All right. Okay. Now.
Okay. Oh, yeah. So,
we stopped the official recording.
Sorry,
we got there's the picture. Yeah. So it was the LCD display.
Uh-huh. With no visible power supply.
Well, it's the future. It's 2010.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Boy, the 2C sure has some longevity.
Yeah, right. Went a long time.
I love it. Yeah.
Did they show the screen, I wonder, or was it maybe that was the only thing you just got?
Doubt it. Can you imagine? No. Can you imagine trying to see that LCD screen in the sun? No. That would no.
At least there's the ribbon cables there, and it seems to be plugged in.
That is true.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Very funny.
Wow. Probably the only instance of a 2C in like a major motion picture television series. I don't know.
Well, you should say that, but
there we go.
I'm over at starringthecomputer.com. Let's see. This is from the Best of Times in 1986.
No, I said major. What was the best of times? I don't remember that.
Let's see what else we have beyond. I have no idea.
Some TV shows in the background. Okay.
Boys in the Hood.
Boys in the Hood. Oh, look at that. Okay. Code of Silence.
Code of Silence.
As Chuck Norris.
Oh wow, The Explorers. Yeah. There you go. Now that was a great movie. I love The Explorers.
Okay. Well, those are way more movies and TV shows than
Hot Tub Time Machine.
Wow.
2010. Still being used. Actually, an Apple IIc being used in 2010 as opposed to in the movie 2010. So there you go.
Nice.
All right. Anyway.
All right. We're getting off track. Okay. We're going to do some news. Are you going to stick around with us for a few more minutes, Mark? Yeah. All right. Let's see here. Just a couple of things to talk about. Let's go in 3. Oops. We're going 3, 2, 1. All right, just a couple of things to talk about in the news. September 30th, which was a couple of days ago, it was 38 years since Microsoft Excel was released. This is a good article over at neowin.net. And they have a picture there of the original box for Microsoft Excel. And did you know it was first released on Macintosh in 1985? Word was not. Word was originally on MS-DOS a few years prior. But yeah, Excel debuted on Macintosh, which is kind of cool thing to say. And of course, it's still on Macintosh. I don't know if you can even buy it anymore physically. Is it? You have to stream it now? I'm not sure what's going on with Excel, but certainly it went on to become the standard spreadsheet, surpassing all the other ones that were around at the time. Your VisiCalcs and your Lotus 1-2-3s and all those things. Let's see. Oh, John, you showed me this today.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Apple stickers on your iPhone. I don't even use them. The stickers, they have these different sticker packs that you can insert into your texts, I guess, or maybe anywhere text supported. There's now a free downloadable sticker pack from Apple that gives you access to how many? 16, 25?
Quite a few.
A lot.
Quite a few fun, original Susan Kerr.
Yeah. Do you think she still gets royalties
icons
from this, or probably not?
I don't know.
She probably doesn't have perpetual rights.
Apple's giving them for free, so
yeah. Well, that doesn't mean they still have to pay her somehow.
That's true.
Yeah, so you get Smiley Mac and Sad Mac and the bomb and a trash can and different cursors. Even there's Moof, Claris, the dog cow.
How awesome is that?
Still around, and these all look like pixel accurate renditions of these icons. So isn't that great to see this? Every once in a while you see a homage in the various operating systems, right? So you just go, I don't know. I eventually found out you got to go into your sticker packs and download it. But yeah, and that's about it for the news that I found in terms of retro news. I don't know, Mark. So have you been in any of the recent vintage computer festivals? I know there's been a string of them this summer.
I have.
The
Vintage Computer Festival in the Midwest. That was a month and a half ago, or no month,
okay,
something like that. Yeah, about a month ago. That was a lot of fun, and every year it grows. And I'm thinking we might outgrow the venue yet again. Unfortunately, like so many people, got COVID there because it seems.
Oh no!
It was 2 years ago. We would have called this a super spreader event, to that effect, right? So because I had some surgery done recently, and so I was like 2 weeks, not even 2 weeks post-op. And I'm like, taking all my precautions, get the hand sanitizer, wearing the, N95 mask and all that, right? I still got it. So,
oh my gosh,
the host did, and a whole bunch of the YouTubers did. I mean, everybody was, but it was still worth it. So, if next year anybody would like to join, that's it's a lot of fun, and it grows each year.
Yeah. So. Well, fortunately, for the most part, the variants have
there we go.
Come down in their severity and the effect. So yeah. Oh, there's the gang.
There's a lot of familiar faces in that picture, aren't there?
Retro. Wow, that does look like that. That's the moment right there where everybody got COVID. It was that.
Well, yeah, I still made a mistake for like 5 seconds. I took my mask. I'm like, all right, guys, let's do a picture. Rip it off.
It was actually it was all the kissing that happened right after this picture. It's probably really what did it. Wow. Well, it looks like a lot of fun. One of these days, John and I will get to the Vintage Computer Festival. We keep missing it.
I know. I keep missing the one in Atlanta. It's only 4.5 hours away, and every year something seems to happen.
Yeah. It's always next year. All right. That wraps up our quick news segment. Looking forward, well, let's talk about next week in the outro. Okay, let's do it. Let's do the actual outro. Let's go on 3, 2, 1. All right, that wraps it up for another episode of the RetroMacCast. Thank you, Mark, for joining us and sharing with us the latest Kickstarter, the 2C cases. Next week we'll be back. It's 88.7 right now, and maybe I'll get that at least 10 degrees lower by next week. If you'll remember, in previous episodes we talked about John's SE30s. He has a pair of them, and they were
being worked on by Joe.
Joe, and I think the last we left it, I think we even reported on the show that he had given up.
Yeah. Remember, he came on the show afterward. I mean, he came and talked to us after the show. We weren't even streaming anymore, and he was talking about but I got an email from him saying that he actually managed to get them both working. So I'm going to talk to Joe. I haven't talked to him yet, but I'm hoping I can convince him to come on next week and see just kind of what kind of magic how many chickens he had to sacrifice, whatever he had to do to get those SC30 boards working.
Yeah, I'd like
what
to
dark
think
deals he had to make.
Well, all the things that he had to do,
Yeah.
that he normally does and normally
Right.
pay off. And then,
Yeah.
what was that last thing or things that
Absolutely.
after he'd given up? I mean, why did he even decide? Maybe it haunted him, if he had given up, it's like usually when you give up, that's it. But somehow I don't know, maybe he had a moment of inspiration, but we'll find out what inspiration is, what the fix was, and that'll be fun if he's available.
If he's available, yeah.
If not, the backup, and the backup was today too. John has set up a RetroMac display at his office, like his like real office, his pay the bill office
where I work,
where he works, which you had one years ago.
Yes.
And I forget, and I remember that, and then I don't remember you told the whole story. What happened to that one?
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
But it came back.
Yeah.
Anyway, but it's a cool little setup. All right. Well, all right. Until next week. Remember, it's not old.
It's retro.
Okay. Now we're in bonus time. I noticed one of the Kickstarter options was a $10 to vote. So hopefully those votes will count.
Oh, yeah. On what the next case should be, right?
Did it say specifically case, or is it just project in general?
Well, I think it's project in general, and there's going to probably be a handful. Maybe I think last time there was like 5 different options. Now the tricky thing is that you get a little bit of bias there because Apple II guys are probably going to be the ones voting because it's an Apple II project. My good Mac friends have been pestering me about some different projects, so we. A couple different.
So what are some of the Mac stuff that people are?
Well, one of them,
for
an example would be I got it kind of partially wrapped here, but the iMac G3 bezel. These turn to dust. And the biggest problem with some of this older stuff is that. So, your Power Mac 5500s and your LC5 whatever, right? Like they all just crumble to pieces and all that. Yeah. The problem is that, with the age and the size of the molds and stuff like that, I can't see something like that working. But this is new enough now that it might, you could start saving machines. The trick there is that, most people are like, well, I bought my iMac for $20 from the guy up the street, or I picked it up in the garbage. So I wouldn't pay to have you run into that. But, it's things like that. And PowerBook cases, I get a lot of requests for PowerBook cases because,
Do you ever get any requests for like the original, like, the Mac Plus case, of course, would be good for the Mac Plus, the 512 and the 128 for a clear that vintage.
I occasionally get requests for that. I think the trick is that those guys are more, maybe not so much the Plus, but the one.
Oh, the Plus, I mean the Plus does have a different back anyway because of SCSI, right?
They're some of the earlier ones. They're purists. They want all and you keep your weird, funny cases away from mine. So there's no different
the Plus
shortage of things, and I try to dabble a little bit Mac, Lisa, and different things like that. But PowerBooks and I think iMac things are probably the what's that one there? A clear 5160 case. Well, I remember Mac effects. Okay, it's bad enough I've went into PC Apple land a little bit here. PC land, Apple II land, right?
What is a 5160 anyway? I don't even know what that is.
That's the second. So you had the IBM. The 5150 was the first IBM.
Yeah.
PC. Hey, there's Joe. And then after that was the next iteration, which had more expansion and memory, that kind of thing. And it was the 5160. Also, the IBM.
So that's the XT.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know it as the XT. Okay, I don't know all the numeric designations. But is going back to the iMac front bezel. I mean, it seems like that's going to be a little more difficult given, I don't know, the angles, the plastic that they use, and I'm trying to think. It's not even. it has the striations or whatever. Is that just caused by the ribbing in the back? How is that created?
The striations, that's there's the outer bezel, and then this is the inner structural bezel, right? So it's more or less. Let me see if I can take this off here. So if you look, this is kind of the smooth part that goes behind it, and it's got the structural rigidity. And what happens is if you try to mail an iMac G3 at this point in time, it's going to come and this thing's going to be just broken. It's going to be dust. And if you try to disassemble, even if you have one and it's looks nice, and I have been unable to. As a matter of fact, it took forever to get one of these as a sample. I had it modeled already, but they just crumbled to little tiny pieces, unfortunately. And the sad thing is I think a lot of people are of the mindset that it's an iMac G3. It's not that collectible yet, and it is to me because I love the colors of them. It's like
right.
Collection, of course, but
that's what they said about all these computers that you try to preserve and we try to collect.
Right.
They every year, more and more of them get dumped and broken and discarded, and and we think they're all over the place, but I bet you in 10 years they're going to be pretty rare. All right. Well, I guess we got. Looks like Joe can come back and tell us the saga of John's SE30 boards next week. So that's exciting. Perfect. We have a date. All right. Well, I'm sweating bullets here. I'm ready to go downstairs.
Go get something cold to drink, James.
Go downstairs. There's a nice cool 83 in the rest of the house. Thanks, Mark.
Yep, thank you.
And we'll see you next time.
Thanks everyone in the chat.
Whenever there's something new to announce or whenever you want to join us, you're welcome back. All right, yeah. Thanks everybody in the chat, and I guess we'll just we'll play ourselves out, right? We'll play a little music like that. All right, sounds good. And then a little video, and see you next week.
Bye, y'all.
Thanks for listening to the RetroMacCast with James and John. Email listener comments and questions to retromaccast@gmail.com or post comments on our website at www.retromaccast.com.